The pilots we interviewed, incredible as can be, more to lose than they have to gain. They're the ones that Marco Rubio believes. Their sensors themselves and everything else on those planes, there is something, unidentified flying objects that have come into the atmosphere, hovered around for hours, and then leave. That's a truth, right? That's a verifiable truth.
I have wanted to be a believer for a long time, and this movie definitely made me one. I was watching it, and I was just like, holy crap, the whole time. And I'm like telling my wife, and I said, it's like I was watching a part of Independence Day. But then I'm sitting here thinking, wait, that's Marco Rubio. That's not fake.
It's not exaggerating it to say if the world began to just accept this as truth and fact, not disputed, it would change the way we view all of the things, like all of them.
Yeah. A lot of people even say that it would change the way that they viewed Christianity per se, and other religions. But personally, I don't foresee that it would change the way I feel about my religious beliefs.
Neither does the Catholic Church, for the record.
Really?
There was brief talk of going and talking to people at the Vatican. They seem to have a position, but the official position is that it does not conflict with Catholicism.
So what led you into working on The Age of Disclosure?
Dan Farr, the director, reached out to me. We talked it out on the phone, and then we met for coffee and asked me to shoot it. I said, yeah. He emphasized how important it was to make an alien doc that wasn't going to be sensational.
I like that. After you worked on this film, did your opinion of what aliens were, or even if they existed or not, change?
Yeah, I think my opinion has changed. I believe the U.S. government hides information from its people. I also think it should in some cases. If this information had been released in the mid-50s or early 60s, it would have been a rip in the societal fabric. If there's something to disclose in 2026, I think that it's a good idea. But I understand why people thought it was a bad idea at one point. And I'm also like, it's a really big universe, and it seems super unlikely there isn't intelligent life beyond this planet.
I know the first time that anyone ever tried to tell me that it was real was my cousin. And he was a Marine. He was on a Navy ship.
Okay.
And he came back and he's like, yeah, there's aliens out there. And then I was like, okay, buddy, you're crazy. And he just laughed about it. He never tried to push me, but he tried to tell me early.
The pilots we interviewed, incredible as can be, more to lose than they have to gain. They're the ones that Marco Rubio believes, right? They're their sensors themselves and everything else on those planes make it a undeniable situation. Like there is an unidentified flying objects that have left, come into the atmosphere, hovered around for hours, breaking all understanding of what ships can do, what flying objects can do, and then leave. That's a truth, right? That's a verifiable truth.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're like, well, either there's a lot of secret tech or somebody came to visit.
It's almost like they're waiting on some more Marvel movies to come out before they tell us the truth.
Yeah.
So was there a moment whenever you first realized that a person that you were listening to was just not acting?
I never thought anyone was acting.
Never.
In this movie, in this documentary?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think most people who have come forward that we interviewed have more to lose than they do to gain.
Right.
Like Jay Stratton, man, is a straight shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time with him over a bunch of years. I mean, a few days at a time, but over a bunch of years. And he's just incredibly consistent. So I believe that everyone I interviewed believed what they were saying.
Yeah.
We can divide the people we interviewed up into firsthand experiences, firsthand examinations of people who've had firsthand experiences, like Gary Nolan. He's a scientist, incredibly renowned, and teaches at Stanford, and will say that he's seen internal scarring on people like on people's internal organs from coming in proximity to a ship.
Right. From the energy.
From the energy.
Yeah.
He created some way of testing blood that has changed all of our lives and nobody knows. Like he's a big deal. And a true believer, absolutely a true believer, and but really grounded human being. There's another category of people like Rubio, like Kirsten Gillibrand, that have seen files, have had information revealed to them that is essentially top secret. They would like to know more. They would like to get to the bottom of some things. Rubio never says, I believe in aliens.
Right.
He says, this is happening. This is unsafe. We need to understand it. And not respecting it is dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if it's really just us with some kind of super military equipment that nobody knows exists because we've been keeping the research secret for so long.
Right.
There's other countries out there that probably have the same thing going on.
Right. So either way, we need to know.
Yeah.
I think if they had a firsthand experience, they talked about that. I think if they read reports, they talked about that. Everyone sort of stayed in their lane of experience. And
that was really what I liked about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you could believe it if it's something that you can't deny. How can you say it's not right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why that's honestly why it's my favorite ufology video I've ever watched.
Great, man. That's good. That was the goal. Dan wanted to make the most serious UFO doc ever, essentially.
I'm not saying that I don't find the weird ones fun.
Yeah,
but this one was just did something for me. Like I said, it gave me those existential feelings. A lot of stuff was mentioned like biologicals, possibly other dimensional. Did anybody say anything off the record that they could not say publicly to you?
Yeah, but I can't say it now either.
You can't share any of it.
No, I can't.
Oh, no.
I can't.
So even if there is a Stargate or even if there is time travel, you will never tell me. Okay, I understand.
I mean, we can also turn off the camera and the mics, and I'll tell you all about the time travel. It's fun. It's fun. It's a little disoriented. No, I'm kidding.
No, there's this one guy, though. He's not related to your film. I can't remember his name, but I heard him on an interview, and he was talking about that he believes the aliens are us from the future, just coming back to check on ourselves.
I haven't. Well, maybe I've kind of heard that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard that one exactly.
It's a weird one.
I mean, we should be getting clearer warnings from ourselves from the future.
And that's what I would think. I would hope that we would do. So what's the cleanest version of disclosure that you think could happen?
Like
if it happened tomorrow, like what do you think might happen?
So no one believes anything anymore,
mm-hmm.
which is a really interesting time to talk about disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
We are kind of post-truth, it seems like to me. I'm going to digress just for a second because I had this kind of realization the other day when I was watching a film, and it's this tight shot on a clock, and a finger just comes in and moves the minute hands on the clock, and I'm like, that's a beautiful analogy for disinformation. It's not like a total shift; it's just a little tweak to the truth, and then it pulls back, and there's all these clocks in the room, and I'm like, that's actually more accurate. What happens is all the clocks change. And so no one knows what time it is. And that's kind of where we are, right? Just flood the zone and tell 1,000 different stories about the same event. And then no one will engage. No one will care. So if disclosure happened convincingly, it would have to be, they have to wheel the body out, right?
It'd be like the president having McDonald's on stage in front of everybody with an alien.
Yeah. 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 Because I think that if Trump came out tomorrow and said, here's the deal, Area 51, 100% true. I've read all the files. Aliens are 100% real. I went somewhere and I saw the biologics that were discussed in the hearing. That
I don't think I believe it.
Well, you wouldn't if you don't like him, and you might if you do.
Yeah,
that's a problem, right?
I'm a mixed bag. I don't like any of them.
Yeah, well, you're probably in really good company.
I believe it only because I've heard witnesses, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if I didn't know that, and if I hadn't watched your film, and I hadn't listened to other ufologists talk over the years, probably the past 6 years, I wouldn't know enough to see all these things connecting in front of my eyes publicly, right, to the point that it's like, you know what, this has got to be right.
Yeah.
But if I didn't know that, I wouldn't believe him at all, no matter who the president was.
Well, because what's the motivation, right? It's so easy. Like this guy throws scandals around like nothing to distract you from this fire. He starts another fire, and I mean, like, ingeniously a little bit.
They all want to sell fear so that they can sell a solution.
That's right.
That's it, man.
That's great. That's a great statement.
I work in sales. That's why I think that way.
Yeah, well, it's not wrong, and it's part of the problem that we're in. Right? Is that we're not actually trying to solve problems. We're trying to convince people that we can. But I don't know what disclosure looks like. In James Clapper, who was head of national security for Obama, I think, he talked about Area 51 in the doc, and that was like one of those moments where I, like, took my eye off the metaphorical viewfinder and was like, well, if you're talking about Area 51 and you're probably one of the most serious people I've ever been around in my entire life, I should definitely respect this.
Did they cover any of the history that a lot of people know about Area 51 in that?
A little bit.
So they like found biologicals there. They studied them or whatever.
Yeah, and they talk about a landing and someone coming out of a ship and interacting with CIA and interacting with military.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah,
that was actually one of the last interviews I did.
If you're watching this right now, people, this is real stuff. Go watch this documentary and you'll believe it too. Yeah,
watch the doc. My wife isn't a skeptic of this subject. She's a skeptic in kind of general, and she's really critical in a good way. It's like, point being, when she first saw it, she woke up the next morning and texted me, aliens are real and they're in control of our nukes. Like, it really affected her,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if this movie is going to affect you this way, we're on to something.
That's why I felt existential about it.
Yeah.
I have felt the same way.
People I brought on to different days. I was lucky enough to have almost for the whole film a camera operator named Dave Fredericks, who was amazing and an incredible asset. But I had other camera operators along the way, and I had a boom on one day, and I had a bunch of different guys that came in and out, and I would talk to them after, and they'd be a little freaked out sometimes. And I kind of acclimated, right? You could say anything, and I was gonna be more worried about what's in the right of the frame, or if the light's right, than I was about what they were saying. It wasn't making me existentially concerned, but it would affect people, man.
You weren't laughing at the Balchinian jokes anymore.
Oh, yes. That is great.
How do you shoot a topic like aliens without making it turn into look like a UFO TV show?
I don't know, man. Did it look like a UFO TV show?
Not in the least. It felt like I was watching like a cinematic film that shouldn't have been real.
I don't know how to answer that question. I just did it.
Do you know the difference though of what I'm talking about though?
I do.
So you're watching Bigfoot Hunters and it's got a look.
Okay, is it the look, or is it
and the
music
feel
and the sound effects and is it like all the things, right? It's the editing, it's the sensationalist.
Yeah, you got the orchestral going on, and you just feel like this is the Terminator or something, but it's real.
And so, like, if you listen to Blair's score, which is so good, he made a serious score, and I made some serious frames, and we asked some serious questions, and as a result, we have a serious film.
Yeah, you did.
I think.
All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, hit the subscribe button. Also, go on Amazon Prime and check out The Age of Disclosure. I'll leave a link in the description. As always, Milty don't quit, and you don't either. Love you guys.